You know, one of the coolest things about the previous generations of Starlinks was that they sat on a motorized stand and they would move the Starlink as it tracked satellites across the sky. More recent generations of Starlinks have not required that motorized stand, and instead they come with a little kickstand like this Starlink Mini. And with that stand, you basically set this on a table or on the ground, and then you use the app to rotate it to align it properly so it can pick up satellites. What that means is you're placing your Starlink on the ground. And I don't know about you, but I hate placing my Starlink on the ground. It's dirty, sandy, dusty, muddy, able to be stepped on. I don't like it. So I always want to put my Starlink on a tripod. And so I just got this little Starlink Mini tripod from Parts for Star. We're going to do a review. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Well, I absolutely love my new Starlink Mini. I am thrilled with this thing, and I've been doing a few tests with it. But one of the things I don't like about Starlinks, as I said in the beginning of the video, is that the new Starlinks come with this little kickstand, and you basically just set this wherever you want to. You can set it on a tabletop, you can set it on the top of your tow vehicle, your RV, your camper, whatever. You can just deploy it, right? Set it up there and use it. But a lot of times we are tent camping, which means setting up our Starlink on the ground. And at the campsite, you can encounter all kinds of conditions, right? You can encounter mud, dirt, sand, dust, all kinds of things. And I'm just never a fan of putting somewhat sensitive electronic equipment right in the dirt, right? That's just not how I like to do things. And so I kind of miss the olden days when Starlinks sat on their own stand and they had a motorized stand so they would track the satellites as they streaked across the sky. But I don't want to have to carry the bulk of a Starlink Gen 1 stand or anything like that. And just as I was thinking about getting a tripod, I was contacted by a company called Parts for Star. And they said, hey, Kevin, we are a company that sells all kinds of accessories for Starlink. Would you like to test out some of our products? And immediately I was thinking, oh man, let's see if I can find a tripod. And they have one. And guys, this is it. Check out how small this is, right? So if you're packing this in a backpack, you can easily pack the tripod too. So let's take a look at it. We'll just open it up here. And so it comes with a nice little travel pouch, and it comes with in a bag. You can either ditch the bag after the first use or keep the bag for, protecting it. It's up to you. I'm gonna set that aside. And then here it is, guys. And it's, super easy to use, right? You just loosen this up and then you pop the legs open. All right, and tighten that down. All right, and then this side, you can either leave it low or you can raise it up. So it's about that high, right? Now, the Starlink itself, when you buy a Starlink Mini, comes with a pole adapter. Right? And this is really easy to put on your Starlink. First thing you do is you just lift up right here, right? Gently, and pull out. That takes your kickstand off. Turn this around and slide it in. Okay, I got it. It was, I had to push a little harder than I wanted to, so I was being really cautious, but I got it in. And then it just has a set screw, guys. So very, very simply, all right, it sits on top, and then you tighten this set screw until it's nice and tight. Okay, what we're gonna do As soon as it stops raining, we're gonna take this out and we're gonna test it out. Check it out. So here you can see we have the Starlink Mini deployed in a field, and it keeps the Starlink up off the tall grass, keeps it nice and clean, above ground. I love this tripod. So this is pretty much my standard setup when I have shore power. So what I'm doing is I'm using the Parts for Star 6.5 foot cord, and then their USB-C to Starlink adapter that Ellie's checking out right there. And I'm using my power delivery 65 watt device to provide power to the Starlink. I'm not using the standard Starlink power brick. I like that brick better. And with those USB-C to Starlink adapters, it works really, really well. And I love the 6.5 foot cord instead of dealing with the really long one they send with the Starlink. But guys, check that out. That tripod is killer. All right, guys, so as you can see, that tripod works really, really well, and I'm really, really happy with it. So the one thing that I would say to partsforstar.com in a way to make it better is to have little tabs on the feet where I could pound a tent stake or drill a lag screw into the ground to hold it. I'm a little worried that it's going to tip in a big wind gust, or if people bump into it or animals bump into it. Like, you know, sometimes when I'm at the campsite, my dogs are on leashes, right? And I try to deploy the Starlink where they can't get to it because I'm afraid that they're going to bump into it or whatever. Because when dogs are on leashes, they don't think about where their leashes go, right? So it'd be really nice if you could put a tent stake through the foot of the tripod and pound it in for a little more tip protection. But guys, it's pretty stable on its own, right? It's not going to just fall down. It definitely would have to be bumped into to knock it over. But things happen outside, right? Things happen in nature. And so if I could provide any feedback back to Parts for Star, it would be that. Guys, I'm going to put links down to everything that you've seen in the video down in the description below, including the tripod, and then as well as these little USB-C to Starlink adapter, right? For any power delivery device, USB-C power delivery device that's 65 watts or higher, you can power your Starlink Mini. And I love these guys because I hate the little power brick that Starlink sent with it. It's not very convenient. And so I use this little, this is 128 watt, it has two USB-C power deliveries and then a standard USB-A. But the top one is power delivery 65 watts, and it works great for my Starlink Mini. So that's what I use. You can definitely use, you know, whatever you want, but if you want to be able to run your Starlink off of power delivery USB-C, partsforstar.com has these in 1 or 2 packs on the website. I'm going to put a link to these down in the description below, as well as a link to the tripod. Guys, I want to thank Parts for Star for sending them to me in exchange for a review. I did not pay for these, but guys, I mean, they have passed every test I have sent them, and I have one more video coming out for Parts for Star. Guys, they sent me a DC to DC converter for the Starlink Gen 3 that I'm going to permanently mount on the cargo camper. So I'm super excited about that because I'll be able to run my Starlink Gen 3 right off the battery system, right off 12 volts. I won't have to run the power supply through the inverter, right? So that frees up my inverter for running other things, and I'm able to run the Starlink right off the battery. So that'll be sweet. I'm going to do a video review on that here coming up soon. And then eventually, when I do the permanent install of the Starlink, I'll include the installation of that DC to DC converter in a video when I do the Starlink installation video. So got a whole lot more coming on Starlink here at Kemp Outside. So guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside. We're your inside source for all things outside. We exist to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you, get you and your kids outside. Guys, I get it. In this day and age, kids want to stay connected. They want to stay connected to their community, to their friends, whatever. If you want to take them outside, if you want to take them camping, giving them some access to the internet, right? Not just totally cutting them off, but giving them some access to the internet is going to make them happier and probably make you a little happier. So if you're using Starlink for your family or you're using Starlink for business, Guys, if you have a Starlink Mini and you're deploying it on the ground, get a tripod. It doesn't cost you much, and it's going to protect your Starlink. It's going to keep it clean. It's going to keep it dust-free. It's going to keep it lasting longer, and I think it's going to perform better off the ground a little bit. So highly, highly recommend the tripod from partsforstar.com. Again, I'm going to put a link below to everything. Also, guys, I have a discount code down there, so if you use my discount code, you get 10% off at partsforstar.com. So thanks, Parts for Star, for sending this to me. I'm going to be using this a lot. You're going to be seeing it in videos, I'm sure. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for camping out with us here at Camp Outside. We will see you outside.